And we're live! Hello all, and welcome back to the INVICTUS stream! My name, as always, is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I'm here once again with the enigmatic, the wonderfully talented, Mr. Gary Fallak.
And Wolverine!
Whoa! Look at that! Is he your favorite, X-person?
Oh, yeah. I've owned this particular one many times.
I like the
It's
lipstick
very
treatment
old.
you gave him. Where you
Oh, you've
held him up
owned
and
it
then
many
put your hand
times
behind
over,
it.
like...
Stupid camera's just like, come on, focus!
It's the worst. We're, of course, joined by the lovely and talented Ms. Jo Fallak. Drinking a Dr. Pepper.
There you go.
Diet Dr. Pepper.
Of course, we are joined tonight by Erica. What? Drinking coffee wine. And, of course, what would a stream be without the one and only Mr. Alex Guthrie?
Hey, I think I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Be quiet.
Right.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's stream, Cull of 20. What is that, you might ask? Well, you're going to find out in a second when I get into the rules and explain, but how's everybody doing? Everybody having a good time?
Yeah, pretty good.
For a Wednesday.
I'm so new to the INVICTUS stream itself that every time I hear the intro, I'm like, oh, it's different on Wednesdays. Oh.
Yeah.
It's the
Over here is where we
ringing.
take things
Wednesdays
a
is the
little
same.
more relaxed.
It's nice to meet you, Erica.
Yes, I see.
Have you guys not met yet?
No.
I feel like we've been like ships in passing. That whoever that poem is.
Yes, ships in passing.
Like
in the
ships
night.
passing in the day when you
Yeah.
like see each other, but you just don't need to
hi.
stop. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Hey!
Just don't care.
It's
Yeah,
an-
like
it was
nod
an
or something.
inevitability. We were going to talk eventually.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize in advance, Erica and Alex. I hope you have
I'll
fun
be
tonight,
on my
friend.
best behavior.
Yeah, I know you will.
We met for a good time, not a long time.
That's
Yeah.
Say that. This might be better than we know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Cull of 20. Well, tonight is a different one for us. We are going to be playing a systemish game. That's right. I read this post recently on Reddit that was talking about alternate ways to roll die. And I thought, what an interesting concept. And what they did instead of rolling die is they would just write down the numbers and cross them out as they're using them to sort of give the idea of random chance, but to also add this element of you getting to choose when you use your die. So I thought, well, let's take that to the next level. Tonight, at the bottom of the screen, you will see the numbers 1 to 20.
At the bottom of the screen.
At the bottom of the screen. But unlike what I told you guys previously, I've decided to change something. Rather than having individual dice pools where you'll each get to do this. Oh, yeah. Gary's wife's not home, so we know that,
We know all
It's
the-
all for me.
sexy Gary comes.
We know that there's going to be no one home to enjoy Gary.
Yeah, only Gary. Only Gary will enjoy
I've got a
Gary.
bath running now. I'm wasting a lot of water.
Anyway, so what's going to happen is there's going to be a series of... Tonight, I will be the one asking for rolls and only me, so you're not using unnecessary numbers. But what's going to happen is there'll be sometimes you roll as a group for the four of you, and you'll have to then choose which number between 1 and 20 you're going to pick. But once you choose that, it is removed from your pool completely.
Tricky.
Which means...
Thanks.
if something happens and you guys are like, okay, well, let's talk, you know what, let's use a 10 for this, you know, nice middle of the road, blah, 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 it is gone. Other times, I will ask you individually to roll, and which point, you don't have to listen to anyone else. You can be like, you know what, I'm going to take the 20 for myself. Because if you want to do that, that's fine. Just remember that the other players might be less interested if you're the one on the line and it ends up being a group roll, because tonight's game sort of has a bit of a horror edge. That's right. Tonight we dive into the horrific world of
Harlan's mind.
Of Harlan's mind.
It's a horror. Trust
So
me.
just so we're clear, when you ask us for an individual roll, we're still taken from the same pool. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh,
exactly.
devious!
Yes, it's going
So
to be a
once
very
we
interesting...
all choose 10, let's say, then 10's out for any of our uses.
Forever.
For all of us, forever.
If anybody chooses 10, 10's out for everybody.
That means we only have 20 actions that we can actually do. As in, like,
Exactly.
horrible
Well,
tension
but specifically,
ones.
they're only the times I'm going to ask. So again, I'm not going to make you use one of these on like a perception or anything like that,
What?
because this isn't
Right,
fucking
right.
D&D. This is Cull of 20.
Unless I need you guys to promise me one thing, and I'm saying this as one of the worst offenders. No hoarding the 20 to the end, just to have Harlan only asked us to do 19 things, and we all decide
First
to save
roll.
the 20 and then never use
20.
it.
It's true. Yeah, that would mean certain death.
Use the good numbers.
Lose it.
Oh man!
Oh no, I
died.
I do have a question though.
I have an answer.
Yeah.
In terms of what we can expect for these numbers, what's the difference between like a 2 and a 1 here?
Yeah, I mean, more or less they're the same. I would say a natural 1 is the worst you can do. So if you are, if you have a good feeling that what I'm asking you to roll on might be a little mundane, yeah, you can get out your 1. But in terms of like an absolute fail, the 1 will be an absolute fail versus a 2, whereas
But
a
it's
20 will be an
contextual.
absolute success. Absolutely.
Okay.
In terms of its like result, it will work like D&D. A natural 20 will be the best you can do, and natural 1 is the worst you can do.
Okay.
But it might be cinematic to save it to the end as well. Who knows? Maybe you want to fail.
The
Maybe you
1
wanna-
and the 20 at the very end.
Oh my god.
And then it's just a
Yeah.
big old...
And then we roll a d20 to see which one we get to... No, I'm joking.
Well, so additionally, you have the chance of dying tonight. Oh, now I should have done that. Just to add to the tension.
Oh, no!
Kind of
However,
breaks the
I
tension
will be
there.
rolling the die in terms of like if you guys decide to, as a group, pick a low number on something that might hurt you, and it does, and maybe it hurts one of you mortally, then I will roll a d4. So not only will the low result be fatal, it will be randomized. So who knows who will get to live and who will get to die.
I mean, that's very fair, but it also sucks.
Yes,
I
which
hate
is
fairness.
why you might, knowing there's like a 1 in 4 chance that you could die, you might then try to like vie for your position. You know what I mean?
So who's player 1, 2, 3, and 4?
I'm going to go 1, 2 will be Joe and Erica. 3 and 4 will be Alex and Gary. So there you go.
Cool.
Player 1,
All
2, 3,
right,
4.
I'm writing this
I
down.
will say that I
Number
was all
3.
prepared to write down my own numbers. Like I got my little
I'm
already
so
shenanigans.
sorry.
That one thing that my friend gave to me. I was all excited to write it down, and then I didn't. I took off the nice clean sheet that I had on top of it to be like, I'm gonna make space.
Flew
And
off
now I
the
don't
dust.
need it. Don't need it now. That's fine. That's fine.
Selfishness
cat-
is not low-key encouraged here, Colin. Because the problem is if you are selfish with your rolls, the other players will more or less know. I haven't exactly understood what the 20 represents in the real world, but more or less I think the more selfish you are, the other people are going to realize that you're sort of, taking
Play
away
into
from
the horror.
Yeah, assuming we care or can stop him.
Well, it's interesting because there's a similar game that called Dread, where you draw from a tower every time, and it becomes more difficult as you draw. You know what I mean?
All right.
So think of it more as one of these other people taking your much-needed oxygen, which will come into play. But
Or as alternatively, we're basically at the start of the tower. It doesn't matter if I just grab one.
that's right.
5
just
blocks
do it.
in.
Smash! I love that Alex already posted. I'm just going to use the 20 first.
He makes no bones
You're
about
gonna
it.
take it out of the equation. We won't be
You're-
arguing
I
about it
mean-
when it doesn't exist.
And then, you know what? Just take out the 18 and the 19 and the 17, the 16, the 15, 14. And then you're just dealing with the low blows, and then it's all good.
Exactly.
It'll be on like the most inconsequential roll as well. Like, can I catch this fly between my fingers but not kill it?
Not kill it. That's great. All right. Well, without further ado, let us play it. Cull of 20.
I almost called it duty.
Of duty. Call of poop.
Call of-
of duty. Yeah, that's right.
Call of excrement.
Call of doo-doo.
Excuse me.
Cull of 20.
Children.
Roger, on the next page, your throttle button is 0.84 Mach, go to 67, and back to 104 at 1.42 Mach. Okay, that's a good copy. The last update I have for you is on page 8-5 under your weather pads. Let me know when you're there.
Phobos, the god of fear and panic. Aptly named, is one of the moons of Mars. Its vast, cold, gray landscape and pitch-black sky offer no salvation against the 20-hour night on the arid moon. And yet, the rich minerals below its surface, when refined, become some of the most valuable materials in our solar system. Its extraction is of the utmost importance. Urva 815 is the only mining colony on Phobos. At Camp Holden, the command outpost you and your team have been stationed at for the past 7 months on the surface of Mars, looking up at Urva 815 as it passes seems like an ever-looming sight. You're not sure whether it's the brass that turns a blind eye or the company itself, but no one has left 815 in 3 years, so long as the materials keep coming. No one from corporate bats an eye. The ships leave Mars, land, and return full of Torvos 12, ready to be manufactured into shiny new toys to kill. Then the material stopped coming. At 0500 hours, you find yourselves in the hangar bay of Outpost Regio, gearing up for the 3-hour flight from the surface of Mars to Phobos and the colony of Urva 815. Targus Penman, who are you and what are you doing to prepare for the flight?
Targus Penman is he's like a youngish guy. He looks kind of like well kept in spite of himself. Like his hair is groomed a certain way, as is every penman. Penman is going to be a designation of a position within the Targus media conglomerate. Ooh. So he's one of many. He's a penman, very low level journalist. He is right now. He's calibrating. He has in the palm of his hand like a little looks like a solar panel, but a little hologram will come up from it, and he's calibrating that between his mind and it, so he can like write stuff down accurately and take recordings, because he is reporting on this whole event for the Targus media company.
Awesome.
And he looks pretty glum, to say the least.
I think with a heavy thud, metallic, hard pressed metal on metal, you see a man, an older man, set down a large, heavy weapon on the table next to you. Alex, who are we looking at?
You're looking at Crazy Laser Barnes. Laser Barnes is an old military man. He knows his guns. He knows how to kill. And he's not afraid of the dark. Although, he knows that there are fears beyond our wildest expectations in those darkness, in those darkest corners of reality. He's been stuck on Camp Holden on the surface for far too long. Gone from here to there and back around again. I've been on Mars pretty much the last 25 years. It makes a man hard. And not hard like that.
And Laser, as you sort of, maybe give a smirk to Targus, who stands next to you, Marge walks by. Erica, who are we looking at as you pass by Laser?
We're looking at Marge Jennerson, which is going to be her last name. She's very strong, square face. She's dark-skinned. She has a shaved head. You might see the very the little curls of some of her hair growing back a little bit, but the very, very tight curls. She is serious in the sense that her jaw is always just clenched at all times. She's someone who's been around for a while, but doesn't bother reciting where she's been. She's here now. That's where her focus is. She's moved up in the ranks for being the one who gets the job done, because she's here to just do her job, focus on the moment. She's been treated well for that.
Brilliant. And as the three of you sort of silently share looks, you hear the metal click of shoes walking down the corrugated steel steps and turn to see Diana. Who are we looking at, Joe?
Diana is a very well put together, official looking woman. She's wearing a company flight suit already that has been tailored to meet her exact measurements. She has a severe expression on her face, not betraying the fact that none of these people were the ones that she wanted to take on this mission. Diana Hyland is a company production executive, and she's here to oversee the mission to Irva 815.
Perfect. And following right behind her, you see a very tired, exhausted-looking corporate, similar to Diana. He walks down, clears his throat, and gestures towards everyone to sort of take a seat. There's sort of some folding metal chairs sitting, just outside the shuttle, sort of on the hangar bay floor.
I think as Laser gets up to, he's standing. He kind of moves over towards the chairs. He approaches Marge. Is it Marg or Marge?
Marge.
He approaches Marge, and you might expect him to make some sexist comment, but instead he, just based on movies and whatnot, but instead he lifts a fist and he says, "Marge, good to see you." He clicks fists with you, as a sign of respect amongst military folk.
Mm-hmm. Her with her armored hand clicks back.
Dope.
Clicks back.
Does this guy look like he's going to talk to all four of us?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
sort of, it's clear that Diana is the lead on this, and
Yeah.
I think he's just, but you can also get the impression that she's maybe been swept up in some sort of corporate sort of, field excursion where the people she wanted weren't chosen, and now she's sort of thrust on this mission that's going quicker than she even anticipated, and part of the answers are being given to her now as they speak. And
In fact, I pull out like a space laptop that's like part hologram, part like wafer thin disc.
Yeah.
And I'm pulling up a couple of files, and I'm getting all settled in. I've got a little sheaf of like space paper next to me. I've got my notes.
But you got to tell me you've got like, it's got to be like an arm bracer that kind of projects from there. Like it has to be like that. You type on your palm as like a keyboard.
That's right.
Hey, Targus will raise his hand and just be like, am I good to record this? I got it, so I'm just telling you I'm recording, okay? And he'll hold his hand out, a little red beeping light will go on. He'll just sit there like, go ahead.
Cool. What were you gonna say, Alex?
Well, I just love how Zia in the chat was like space fist bump, and then next thing, Joe's like space laptop, space paper.
I'm just appending space as like a prefix to every noun.
True, right?
Well, that's actually, has Diana actually been here? Like, has Targus been here for a while? Sorry, like, is this?
Yeah, you've all been here for at least 7 months.
Okay.
Whether or not you've sort of rubbed shoulders or not, the work on Mars is very much straightforward. You're very used to working with new people every week in terms of covering a story, in terms of a military excursion, in terms of blowing out a mine that's collapsed. There's a lot of activity, so this isn't out of the norm just yet. And he sort of stands up and clears his throat for the space briefing. He says, as you know, Hollowvale Co. has become worried with Irva 815 on Phobos. I haven't heard from them. We will be mounting a larger expedition in the next few days, but we want to send a preliminary scout team out to investigate as soon as possible in order to keep the flow coming, as it were. Any questions?
Yeah, just maybe what's happened is you said the flow. What do you mean? Has Torvo stopped flowing?
And he walks over to like the space projector and like sends some stuff from his own wrist thing up to it. And you see a projection of Phobos, the moon of Mars, and he's kind of like, obviously Urva 815 is the only mining colony on Phobos, and while there is Torvus 12 on Mars, as well as our other colonies here, Phobos has the highest concentration, therefore it is the most valuable to Hollowvale Corporation. We want to ensure that it is functioning. We don't know exactly what's happened, to answer your question, Private. He sort of mumbles questioningly.
It's Barnes.
Barnes, yes. We're not entirely sure. Obviously, as you are the recon team of sorts, we've equipped the shuttle with the life support system. It should be a short flight. You are to arrive there, make contact, ensure operations get up smoothly. Otherwise, we'll be sending reinforcements in a few days once your report comes back.
When do you require first communications from us?
Let's say 1100 hours.
Is Hollowvale the company that does the mining of the resource on the planet?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then Targus
Yeah.
will put his hand up and be like, sorry. What do you say to the rumors that Hollowvale Co. has fabricated all of this? It's doing just fine and they're hoarding the resources for themselves.
Well,
Sorry.
that's why we have you, Targus. Is your name Targus or Penman?
My if you're asking that in game, I'll tell you.
Is
Yeah, my name is Targus Penman. That's my full name. When you go to work for Targus, you become Targus in your position. I'm a Penman. I'm Targus Penman. That's
Cool.
my name.
Yeah. And he nods. He's like, yes, that's why we've agreed to send a reporter like yourself along. So you'll be able to have a first-hand account of the understandings here. Any
I
other
didn't ask
questions?
that. It came in from... Yeah, never mind. Thanks.
Will we have an opportunity to view your article before it is published, Targus?
I was told I can't show you guys anything. That's okay, I'm taking my notes. They're saved on my drive. You gotta go above me to find that out. From what I was told, no. But you know me, I'm not gonna write dumb shit. Half the questions I have aren't even mine. I've been working for this company for 8 months? I've been here for 7, okay? I can't show it to you. I could want to, and it won't let me. So
I'm not asking you to go beyond what is protocol for the company, merely making an inquiry. Please continue.
I kind of picture Diana like sitting off to the side too, right? There's like him, there's you, and there's like her, sort of as the company man, more or less. He says, anyway, head to the site, investigate, get the mine back up and running as soon as possible, as well as their refinery. Commander Martin Faulkner, he sort of projects an image of an older, bald, white man. He's the commanding officer, but again, have not been able to reach him. Remember, Torvos is responsible for the Demos nanobots, which are obviously one of the most crucial pieces of technology that we've been able to access here. He says as he clears his throat. And you know the Demos nanobots, they are a technological wonder that's allowed the creation of space bases and technology at such an exemplary rate. It's been able to build walls in no times. You know, the way that 90% of the complexes on planet surfaces are built now are utilizing these, and they're up in seconds. So, and again, you know, context clues or knowledge alone would give you the impression that the material they're mining is the direct component in this creation. So
Targus will raise his hand again, sorry, and just be
Yes.
like, so, how's the supply chain looking? Are we looking at a big shortage of nanobots anytime soon? I mean, what's the stockpile going to be like? Or are
No
we
comment.
looking
Next
at
question. He like just goes right past you. He's like, any
You
other
know what,
questions?
Targus? I'll tell you this much: don't ever get in front of one of those Demos nanobots. If they ever malfunction, I'll tell you, I had to take out a few way back. When they first were into production.
And the guy interrupts you,
Ooh.
and he goes, and he's like,
Targus
you
is
see his
recording
name,
this,
Westcott.
like-
yeah, he's like, no.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
walks forward, and he's like, nanobots do not malfunction. Strike that. Any other questions? Liftoff is in T-minus 10 minutes, so whatever you have.
I think Laser looks at Marge and gives like a knowing glance, We're like we both shake our heads at the corporate bullshit that we put up with, eh?
Oh yeah.
Are we scheduled on one of the standard shuttles, or is there a private flight?
And yeah, like this is sort of the hangar bay that the shuttle's getting ready at. Like in the background, you see people like loading up the shuttle with like oxygen and stuff like that. And so you sort of piece that together through context clues. And after a few clicks of his slideshow, he puts it away, sort of walks over to a briefcase on the desk and starts, closing it as the four of you sort of have a moment to yourselves.
Targus will... Oh, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No,
I was going to shuffle over to you and just be like, so, Laser, on the record, what were you saying about those nanobots malfunctioning?
Well, they malfunctioned.
I'm recording, by the way. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
on the record.
I don't think it's a secret. There was a bunch of us that were in the room together when one of these nanobots they malfunction. It started.
Nanobots are very small, Alex. They're tiny, tiny, tiny. Just FYI.
Microscopic.
A lot of them malfunction.
There's a ton of them. Like
millions.
They formed something. I don't know. So it's like someone was controlling them. They formed something, and we had to throw a couple grenades in. Some of my fellows lost limbs. I tell you, they're dangerous though. They can move like that, and they built walls. They built a wall almost immediately as we were firing back at them.
Laser's getting worked up, and I feel like it's becoming louder.
We had to shoot at them. We had to throw detonators in there, and the next thing you know, we were battling it. And this is where the crazy part comes out, because people call him Crazy Laser, right? And the next thing you know, we were all over the place. And they were all over us. They took it on my buddy. I had to put his eyeball.
Anyway, so good luck on your mission with this gentleman. Enjoy.
Diana's like, she's got her back turned to the table, to the briefing. She's going through one of her like satchels. She's got like a backpack type satchel, space backpack. And she's like rooting through, and she gets this pill bottle. You see it like jangles with pills. Ooh. And she like empties a couple out into her palm, and then she sort of looks over her shoulder and she sees that Marge is like not chatting with these dudes. Marge like can see that she's like getting some pills out, and Diana's like, did you I don't fly well. Did you what?
And I like to think this is when Marge, and again, she's black, very dark skinned. This is when she just smiles in response, and you see an entire row of what look like overly elaborate braces and 4 missing teeth in the front.
Nice.
Her jaw is completely wired shut, and that smile is just prickling up in the light.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's
so she can't even talk?
I think she can, but she's talking through this sort of thing. So she's got a little bit of and then the gap for
like
any sort
a
of
fused
feeding
jaw
tubes.
almost.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like she's a broken jaw.
I'm sorry, I didn't. No, okay.
That weird little chasseur cat kind of smile.
I love it.
Spooky.
Nice.
That's awesome. Cool.
She's the betrayer.
crazy.
I'm calling it now.
In the next few minutes, you find yourself strapped to the shuttle. It rattles and shakes as the cold ice chunks of Mars's atmosphere fall off in sheets. With a lift that still unsettles you no matter how many times you've taken this type of trip. The ship takes off and begins the trip towards Phobos, which is only 6,000 kilometers from the surface of Mars, by the way, which I was very surprised. That's like from Toronto to
Very
Paris.
close, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very close.
What's our moon doing? Ignoring us?
God, get it together, Moon.
Come on, Moon.
I love that our moon is just called Moon. It's like,
Just the name of the company is.
It's like the way
Isn't it called Luna?
It's the way Henry names things. This is Blue Henry,
Everything is either named Henry or
just Blue.
fucking.
The sun would have been called Star if we knew they were the same thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Big star.
Eventually, the shuttle sort of on a trajectory that is destined. It sort of turns.
Do we have a
and
pilot?
lands.
Or
No,
is it
it's
automated?
Automated, exactly. The automatic landing of the shuttle is pretty seamless. It sort of cools off as it lands on the moon's surface of Phobos. Yeah. Laser shakes violently as the fear sets in. On the surface of this moon, the days are 30 hours long. 20 of those hours are in almost complete darkness, other than the starlit sky above. And it is just coming on to night as the shuttle lands.
It's like one of those carnival rides where you have to like
Yeah.
get out of the
Yeah.
harness and shit.
Or
All
when
right.
we're walking into this, how much light is around? As far as artificial, as far as
Yeah, great
dimming.
question. You sort of get out of your seat, Marge, and you peek through one of the portholes to sort of get a glimpse at the base, which is, again, URVA 815, IRVA 815. And as you look out, you notice that there is a uncomfortable lack of light. In fact, from your guesstimation, the actual seal that would bridge the ship to the interior of the colony, mining colony, is broken.
Is that a normal thing of, hey, every so often this breaks? Or is this a unusual, shouldn't have ever broken thing?
It's a
Great
great
question.
Military grade or not?
Great question, yeah.
love
It
it,
is
yeah.
unusual, but not unheard of. It's definitely not a common thing, but it's like, oh, well, that can happen, especially from what you know of this base, which is that other than shipping and receiving, no one's really left or attended this base in 3 years.
Marge, how
All
do you? Sorry, how do you like communicate? Do you do like sign language, or you do, like doing military sign language a lot?
Well, I imagine she would know how to do that for
Yeah.
being who she is.
In the
but
military,
also, she
yeah.
can still speak through her teeth herself, but it's
Okay,
a lot of
okay.
effort to have to do that.
Okay, cool.
And it makes her seem less intimidating.
Well, I mean, she's doing this gigantic metal smile every time.
I'm having
there's
a
black
great
hole in the
time.
middle.
Intimidation checks with disadvantage.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you smiling at me?
I don't know. That's pretty intimidating.
No, it is intimidating, actually. Cool. So yeah, you see this, Marge.
Now, is this something where we need to have it connected before we go on? Like, we'd have to have something kind of poking it or hooking it back in fully?
You
Or
don't
can we
need to. You know that, like, most of the time, you would leave the shuttle in your spacesuits anyway for fear of
Okay.
something like this happening. It's pretty common policy. And in fact, maybe Marge you even look over and everyone's sort of sliding on their suits to, like...
Yeah. How is everyone equipped? Because I was imagining sort of that, Mass Effect Commander Shepard sort of thing, where it's metal plating mixed in with that really wired Kevlar kind of mesh to give some
Yeah.
flexibility for protetion sort of thing.
Yeah,
But
it's exactly that, a little bulkier,
Yeah.
because even though you are the expeditionary force here, you're also sort of like lower on the totem pole. Like you're not so you're kind of wearing like the spacesuits you brought aren't the ones that you own. They're like, military and civilian, and
They're the
very
ones that are on
individualized.
the ship when we get on.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
They're like
Targus
Targus will
corporate
have, like,
spacesuits.
the insignia of Targus on his like left breast pocket, and have like just a real shit sidearm that he had basic training to use. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the back
exactly.
line like.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Laser on the other end has like a
Gun in each finger.
a
Like,
gun that's like it's all tattooed and it's got his name written on it and like nice
Yeah.
Yes.
writing.
There's like
being
notches in the
misspelled?
side.
Oh, it's got that pulse rifle sound.
LAZUR.
Yeah.
it's got that wonderful
Loves her.
feeling of like how ants sort of send out those scouts. Like it's one
Yeah.
of the things where you only have strength in numbers if you have numbers, and we don't. So we're just sending someone
Such a
out to
good
see if they come back, and if
Yeah.
they don't, we'll send another small scout.
Yeah.
That's
Check the
exactly
first one.
it. And you guys are the first ant.
Oh man.
Oh god.
As far as we know.
Can Targus walk up to Marge and just be like, "So, hey Marge, how you feeling about the when we're here?" So, I got to get an official comment. So, anything's fine, really. Feeling good? Feeling bad?
I feel like she just turns back, and I think she noticed that she got a little bit of a reaction from the civilians, and she just looks back and she says, "You'll live."
That is actually really reassuring. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Diana's a little bit green from the landing, and after she's unbuckled herself and sort of steadied against the bulkhead, she's like, all right. Excuse me. So, I'm not the most experienced spacewalker. I'm just going to be very clear with you about that. So I'm expecting that the military personnel are going to take the lead in this. I'm going to be assessing damages on this mission. Excuse me.
You don't fly much, do you, Diana? and Laser has a helmet, and he kind of throws it at you, and it lands at your stomach, you know?
Yeah,
Nice,
she
yeah.
like stumbles back like a half a step. She's like, it's not typically part of my job description, but this is an excellent opportunity for it. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know my whole CV. Regardless, let's keep this short, find out what's happening, and report back as soon as we can.
I feel like Marge only being able to speak as loud as she can't. She can't open mouth and yell. She kind of does like a little quick bang on whatever surface is around, sort of her version of clearing of her throat, basically. And I feel like she says to you, some advice, get it out now so you don't carry it around with you.
Targus will be like, I'm turning the recorder off. Do what you gotta do.
I'm fine.
I'm gonna do it too. I'm just going at the back.
Let's move along.
No.
And she gives Diana a look, and it's that look of like, oh, you're gonna tough it out, and it's that you still see the same kind of. It always looks like a smile, but this one seems like a more of a genuine kind of smirk to be like, I'm gonna see how long you last.
Yeah. When's she gonna fucking Ralph?
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah.
she warned you.
And that's when Laser
Nice.
Oh, sorry. I just read that.
That is good.
I didn't read that. That's when Laser turns around and he says, well, you got one thing right, Diana. You stay behind us. And he lifts up his massive gun and just like a, what was that called? What are
That's
our
what it's
American
called.
rifle? Cocking the rifle. Thank you.
No, it's just called chick.
I feel like you do it with
Chicken.
one hand as well. You just pick it up by the neck, just go
That's
The
so
way, yeah.
fucking
and hold it.
And the rifle.
Yeah. It
was from
discharges
Doom?
by accident.
That was
Blows
Doom.
a hole.
Yeah.
What is nice is that I feel like we wouldn't have to tell Targets that, because I feel like he's already falling very well in line right now.
Oh god, yeah, I'm staying behind all the tough
Oh, yeah.
people.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah, Diana's trying to get us to move along. Time is money and all that shit.
Yeah. So you open through the airlock, the sort of double doors of the shuttle, leaving behind the lights to the dark, almost oppressive black of Phobos. Yeah, good sound effects.
So many.
That was Gary.
But it was both of us did
Gary?
the same. We both did the
both did
same
it.
one. But why do we assume that's space and future is like or
Oh my god, Alex is always doing sound effects. So now we have Gary and Alex doing two sound effects.
It's like dueling banjos, but with Foley.
you walk.
You move towards Phobos, and as you do, you sort of walk through the airlock to what seems to be a arrival hangar. It's sort of a small, long L-shaped room with a larger end on it, and the tunnel that connects to it is torn. You see the outside, of Phobos's Earth sort of through the small slits. It's completely depressurized in here. There's no light either as you flick on your headlights on your spacesuits.
Targets is looking for the control that turns it on.
Yeah. Oh man, you're gonna die so quick.
Marge reaches over, flicks it on the side of his helmet for him.
Oh yes.
Awesome.
Thanks, Marge. Thanks.
Getting every
Meanwhile,
cliche, and I love it.
Laser is approaching with his gun up at his sight, keeping everything in check. He's right in front, and he kind of looks over without moving his arm off of his gun. He looks over at Marge, and he kind of makes a nod over there, and then he says, Targus or Diana, you
Yep.
click that door button over there. See if it's gonna open. All right.
Targus will, I assume, because Diana's a higher tier than Targus, so he'll probably the most expendable person there. So he'll just be like, oh, okay.
That's amazing. Yeah, you walk over, you check it, and it seems like the power to this door is off, or at the very least, it's not working. As you move into this sort of arrival hangar, you see that it's dismantled. There are sort of overturned benches where people might have waited to be picked up or something like that. There's sort of a counter that's surrounded in glass that seems abandoned. There's sort of dirt and soot almost from the outside winds of Phobos that has blown in of this room and sort of tossed it during a storm. And as you approach, yeah, there's a large wall on the back that says Irva 815, but painted over it in red, it says Pavor, Pavor, and written in almost what looks like finger paint, it says, eyes that glowed with fire.
Now, as we're all here as part of a scouting team, I know we have two actual reporters. Are we broadcasting to back home? Are we taking our own notes, our own shots?
No,
for
you're
field
taking,
reports?
yeah, you're
No.
like recording it.
Yeah, the module in his hand won't broadcast that far.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything we take is just kind of for our purposes.
Exactly.
Are we at least able to take little reference pictures to be like, this will go for a report later?
Yeah. And I kind of like the
Targus
idea that you got
definitely
like
can.
you got like picture-in-picture camera too, where like in the
Yeah.
top corner of your helmets you can kind of see what laser's seeing and shit.
I like that.
Oh,
That's
nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
From my initial assessment, this looks like maybe the mining operation experienced some kind of mutiny. Maybe be prepared for aggressive forces. None of this is sanctioned.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's mutiny.
That's it. That's
Sir,
the
March,
only
go ahead.
thing.
That
Everything else goes.
nanobots and mutiny. And when the nanobots mutiny,
And people who touch my gun. I don't like people who touch my gun.
Well, that's mutiny. It's
Yeah,
amazing how
that's
many things you can hate. We just broadened the definition.
Basically the same thing.
Right. That's right. So
we're gonna have to find a way to get this door open. Power console should be, and then I pull up like map of
Yeah.
the station. And can I figure out sort of where we need to go in order to make these operational, or is there a second way in?
Yeah, I'm kind of imagining you pull up like a scanner
Yeah.
and you're like scanning the wall for like active power lines. And you see there are some in the wall, just not powering the door. I picture, Diana, you're sort of walking along maybe the baseboard, like scanning for power. And you see that there's a small door down a few steps kind of off behind the glassed-in console that seems to have power running to it.
Service tunnel seems operational.
It says service tunnel and processing.
Now, is that the way we would normally go, or are we ideally looking to go through the closed doors? Because I'm assuming there's a manual override of some kind.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless
this
it's
is an
Tesla
option.
land and it's
Yeah,
all
I mean,
touchscreen.
like, yeah, it's getting everywhere you need to inside the base. Like right now, you know that as much as you have oxygen, it's of a limited supply. You know, you definitely want to get to find out if the base is pressurized in any way.
Okay. So the shortest route to find whatever turns the power back on is our
Exactly.
main priority. Okay.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Service. Okay.
Well, if she has the map, we can just start
Yeah.
heading that way.
Just kind of
Yeah.
looking around and
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see Diana standing in front of this door. Diana, there's a manual way to override this door. It still needs power, but you can kind of suss it out.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me a roll?
Ooh. What do we think, guys?
I think this would be something where you'd start going real low.
like
yeah, because we have an alternate entrance, right? We can go
Yeah.
through the service
7,
door.
6 or
this is
7.
your like wheelhouse as well, isn't it? So imagine your plus, your modifier would be quite high to this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an
yeah.
interesting question. Like, if we're going to use a 12 for a shoot, that's going to be more effective if Alex does it than if I do it.
100%. And
Cool.
it's going to be a bit of a judgment call on how I feel. So
Yeah.
Easily a plus
But-
19.
But the better you play your
His gun
characters,
has
the
a name.
more role playing you do, the more rewarded you'll be.
I walk authoritatively up to the door and I lower my glasses.
Keep that energy for later.
Powering it that way.
Hi, door.
Power spell.
And I stick my tongue in it.
I whisper naughty things to the door. What do we think? God damn.
Gary, your naughty
fucking
things are different than
door.
mine.
They're naughty, aren't they? I got sent to my room.
I mean, my thing is, I don't mind trying the door, but I'm gonna go right now with the path of least resistance, given what we're kind of going for. I don't think it's worth expending that much effort.
Oh, you still
and
need to roll.
oxygen.
The decision has been
Yeah,
made.
let's say we
Oh,
call,
yeah,
it, call it a 6.
Yeah.
6
Yeah,
or
lower
5.
roll, yeah.
I was
Okay.
I was gonna do okay, sure.
What were you
Well,
gonna
do you-
do?
This
We
is
need
like
to-
we're still chatting.
Okay.
Okay.
That's my first. That was my first.
I wouldn't make like a 3. Like I don't mind throwing the 1 at this right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think?
If we have another
A
way
1 is
in,
like a failure, though.
a 2 then? If we have another way in, and this is just a roll to see if option A works, but we always have option B.
Yeah.
You don't know if you have option B. You're
Oh, shit,
you're
okay.
assuming, but
Yeah.
Okay.
definitely the door you passed was unpowered and didn't have a way to open it right off the bat. But it could.
Sub 10 then, like you were saying, 6 or 5?
Definitely sub 10.
Let's call it a
thinking
4.
sub 5.
Okay, so
4?
Or
That sounds like a decent
4.
compromise. Huh?
fair.
We're all level 10. You know, we've got high modifiers.
There you go.
Oops. We're...
Meanwhile, Laser's like looking around every direction other than the door, with his gun raised.
Look at that. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
cool.
wow.
Good
Actually, I
job,
like that.
Harley.
Yeah.
Are you using paint?
4 has been used. You see Diana sort of scanning. There's power behind this door. It's running in a hall. She bends down and you sort of press on a circuit that opens up and you crank a little wheel to try to get the power going back to it. And as you crank and you crank, you hear like a sparking in it, and then a loud tsh sort of just shoots out and singes like a bit of your spacesuit, leaving like a bit of black.
I hate that.
The door does not open.
Does not.
Damn it.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to go in. We'll try the service area.
Yeah.
I thought this was a service door.
No, this is the non-service door. Well,
Oh,
literally.
man.
But this was the main route. Now we're gonna go
Right.
to the actual.
The service
B.
door. Okay.
Down a few
okay.
stairs
To the right.
into the deeper darkness.
Yeah. And as you turn, you sort of see that the door is also cracked slightly. It's depressurized on the inside.
Okay.
But it could be open with some force.
Now I have a question.
I have an answer.
When things get into like a lockdown mode in these places,
Yeah.
is it assumed that like some of the main tunnels close right away and then some
Yeah.
others are supposed to automatically open and this one didn't? Or it's
Yeah.
supposed to be like this? Yeah?
Well, it's definitely supposed to be shut. If an area of a station depressurizes, there's sort of bulkheads that lock. And actually, as you walk up, Marge, and you sort of give a look, you notice that there's like a crowbar at the bottom of this, as if someone
Fantastic.
kept it open rather than letting it shut.
Oh, shit.
I'm tempted to almost leave it there and keeping it wedged open just in case. Because if it's trying to shut, if it's supposed to shut on its own, I really don't want to leave it.
Is it actively like the door's not on? Is it just it's cracked and it's just there inert, or is it like the crowbar is actively holding it open?
No, it's just inert, and that crowbar was holding it open. You kind of
we have
test
our-
it a bit. You know, you pull it like just an inch, and it sort of stays open.
Do we have our own as well? Like as our own, if we're going to explore something like a...
Yeah, you got your own like
Space
toolkit.
crowbar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to at least take this crowbar.
Hydro
and-
spanner.
Because if we can get it open the rest of the way, then I'd like to leave this in there to keep the door open.
Perfect.
Just in case it does decide to shut again.
Yeah, I love it.
Cool.
We go in.
Okay. Yeah, you wedge it open. I kind of imagine laser.
Yeah.
One
Going in
hand,
first?
just like
Yeah, and like pulling it open too, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, actually, Laser's like got his gun up to his eyesight, you know, and I picture actually Marge being, you know, like the tough ass bitch.
just
she is,
nonchalantly,
you know,
like
just like
fucking
prying it open, you know.
open
with her-
before me.
Which
dude.
one of you two
With her
is like
badassness.
the more senior
Oh,
Or are you
Marge,
guys
sure.
Marge is the
Be like
most-
Marge. Yeah.
I feel like Laser's older, but
Oh, yes.
Marge
I thought that's
is
what you
more
meant.
senior in that sense because she's done
Yes.
her
Like
own.
Laser
I'll go
stated
first.
grunt, just and Marge rolls.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's right.
Cool.
That's right.
he's good at what he does.
Yeah. Yeah. But definitely not a leader.
Perfect.
Point me.
So, yeah. So maybe you pry it open. But then you order me in.
I mean, yeah, as long as everyone can get in before I go in last, and then keep it.
Yeah, it
Right
stays
behind
open
us.
as you pry it
Yeah.
open, Marge. You sort of like wedge it open. You feel like, because there's no power to the door, you know, it's not like shutting. It's just kind of staying open.
Yeah, there you go.
That's laser.
That's basically him.
Combination
What?
laser Marge.
So many door gifts in the Discord.
Oh, we're showing them.
They really are.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. And you move in. Laser first,
Oh.
followed by Diana and Targus. And Marge, you bring up the rear. Did you see you're leaving the crowbar or you're taking it?
Well, if we have our own scouting tools with us, I'd like to leave this one as a door prop, like fully
Cool.
horizontal.
Yeah.
In the door.
Yeah, cool. You sort of leave it there, like it was sort of just it was sort of vertical laying, kind of kept it open
Yeah.
an inch, and you pulled it. So you're
I want it
resetting
open.
it. Yeah, okay. So you reset it. You're sort of gauging. You're like, hey, if this door would shut, this would probably work that way.
Yeah.
Excellent. And as you
Cool.
move in, Diana, you're sort of following the power lines in the walls, and you see a door to your immediate left that actually has power. There's sort of a small glowing keypad on it that is glowing green with an open close.
Here, we can gain access this way. And I deet,
Yeah.
key in the code.
The door opens, and you see sort of a large processing room as you sort of move in. Does everyone enter?
Yeah, I want to go in and I take a look around. Just kind of a cursory glance. Not like check my corners, but I want to see if there's any other defacement, any other vandalism in this
So does Targus.
processing room.
Perfect. And Laser and Marge, you bring up the rear?
I mean, it's safe. I think right now, if they're the ones insisting on going in first, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't imagine I'm going to be able to shout loud enough to call them back, but I'm going to let them set off whatever they want to first.
Okay. And then the two of you move into the room behind them.
Spike trap.
Perfect. Yeah. The four of you enter into this room, and immediately the door shuts behind you. And you hear the sort of pressurization
Oh, nice.
as oxygen begins filling the room. But it's still dark.
What? What's that mean? What's that mean? What's that mean?
No.
What's that mean?
Laser.
What's happening?
Laser, it means that things are working the way that they're supposed to. We have oxygen in here.
Oh, Jesus.
Do we though? Like, what is the atmosphere like inside once it's?
Do we get a readout like in
Yeah.
the?
Yeah,
Your
you're sort
HUD.
of like,
Your
it's still
HUD.
dark, so you're sort of like doing your little programming shit. It seems like the oxygen is like sort of refilling this room slowly, and as you're
Okay.
sort of scanning the room, you're also looking for sort of the power in this room. It seems like it's been switched off. And as you look around, Diana, and you scan, there's like a junction box in the ceiling that seems to have just been turned off.
I don't recommend flipping that on and letting everybody know we're here, but I also don't mind trying to see what strategically we can turn on. Maybe a couple of the fuses rather than the whole thing.
Yeah, this is the fuse for like this room alone.
Okay.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I like when people think like that because I'm the type of person that's like, let's flick it on.
Light switch there. Me press.
I usually am.
Yeah.
It takes a
Button?
concerted effort to not do that.
Yeah.
Cool. Targus,
Laser
as you
doesn't
sort of
pull his helmet
walk
off.
into this room, you sort of step a little bit deeper. It's sort of an odd-shaped room. It's sort of a large square with corrugated steel beneath your feet. You're sort of just casually looking around. Diana, you sort of spot the fuse box in the ceiling tiles. Laser and Marge, what are you two doing?
I would like to keep watching the walls to see what's going on. Is there anything coming out? Anything moving? Anything shifting?
Yeah. No, it seems pretty normal. Again, it's kind of tough to see. There seems like as the oxygen is filling this air, there's also a lot of debris that's sort of blowing up, sort of from this area. It's almost sort of becoming cloudy in here.
Can I walk along the edge a bit?
Yeah, you walk along the edge of the room. Laser, what are you doing?
Laser, I would say, I guess, preemptively takes his helmet off and sort of, he's sort of, being the rough and tough character that he is, he doesn't really worry too much about the little things. He's like, a little bit of, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of lack of oxygen
Space
for a
dust.
minute or two.
Yeah, and you're like, psst, and you're like, feel comfortable with the air. You're like, oh, yeah, there's like dust kind of blowing around.
But I will state this: I don't toss my helmet. It doesn't be set down. It clips onto my belt. The back,
It clips onto your belt. Absolutely.
In fact, maybe in this version of the future, like our helmets kind of fold up
The
like
Iron Man
like
off our heads.
Oh, it's like a.
I was expecting a glass thing that went off.
No,
That's
I wasn't thinking like that.
No.
I was thinking like
They
we didn't
clip
have
on
budget
your-
for that.
No, we don't have the budget for that.
Our
things
suits
are-
at home do that.
Yeah, your suits at home do.
Oh yeah, okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
but no, this does clip on, absolutely. But it's still like a big, bulky thing hanging.
Okay,
Can I ask a quick question?
Please do.
Does eyes that glowed with fire, does that ring any bells for Targus in any of the reporting on this particular incident or in general?
I'll give you the option if you choose. You can roll for that.
Ah!
But it will be just you. You can't discuss what you want to roll.
Okay, I'm going to say for right now, that's not important.
Okay.
But he'll note it in his little recorder
Good to know.
hologram, which does look like it's kind of like fizzling a small bit because it's having a hard time getting through the spacesuit.
Yeah.
This
We
is
can
where
choose
things
not
start
to
go
roll?
wrong.
I'm not on that.
I gave him the option not to roll because that's a sort of a additional thing.
Okay, that's fair.
So, Diana, you found the junction box. The room is still bathed in darkness. What do you do?
Yeah, my helmet light sweeps across the ceiling, and I spy this electrical box up there.
Yeah, you see it through the ceiling tiles, sort of.
Shit.
It's like this real metallic, tough-looking, scorched ceiling tile.
She's short too. She's like 5'4".
Yeah, you can't reach it.
So this is definitely not a place that's constructed with folks like her in mind. They're more like the burly mining type, broad shoulders, tall
Yeah,
folks.
true, I guess. Yeah.
All right. It looks like we need to get up there to turn everything back on. I'd be surprised actually if that door that we just came through is going to open again without us getting to the box. Anyone
I'd
have
like
any
to
bright
think that
ideas?
immediately jumping in right now. Marge is just going to do a nice little clank to, again, her own version of knocking, and then give Laser a gesture of like, just to be like, give her a boost.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
There's not even interruption as he just looks and like, oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Going
he
up.
Slings his gun on his back, and sure enough, you're like, you don't even really ask. You're not even trying. I like hold your lower leg, and I like lift you. You're like one hand's under your
One of
foot, the other
these.
hand's holding your other leg. No, like you're standing in my feet, or you're standing in my hands.
Brilliant.
Like,
And as you see the junction box, it seems pretty straightforward. It's a really well built junction box. Like, it's sturdy as all hell. It looks like it can withstand a bullet straight to it, and it's sort of got a large lever on the side of it. And three things happen simultaneously when you flick it. First and foremost, as you pull the junction box down with the loud boom, you see the lights in the room immediately start. At the same time, I picture Targus sort of like looking at what he's walking on. And he sort of bends down and looks closer at what he's sort of walking on. This large corrugated steel with sort of like big holes in it. It looks scorched.
Okay.
At the same time, we see Marge sort of pawing at the wall to realize that it's coated in dust. As she pulls her hand back and feels this like ashiness in her glove, she reveals the word incinerator. And beneath the floorboards, as Targus is watching, you see flames just
Like a pilot light.
like a pilot light sort of begin to start.
Oh shit. Like the room is going to catch fire. Is that what
Like
we're
We-
saying?
all
turned-
three of those happen simultaneously.
Turned on the oven that we're standing inside of.
Great job, Civvy.
I think we should leave. I think we should leave right now.
So
Right now,
is this like a incineration room?
Yeah, it's like a disposal processing. And as you sort of like, as the light glows and you see like above the door, there's like a large square area where they would place garbage to incinerate it and then have it like blown out onto the surface of the planet. And like Targus is like standing right on it as the pilot light has just been ignited and it's slowly beginning to like build and heat.
All right.
Well,
we need
first
to get
thing,
out
can
of
you
here.
turn it off?
You feel
Yeah.
the stability of my arms that you're standing in begin to waver really quickly.
Yeah.
Turn it off! Turn it off! Turn it off! Turn it off!
Can Targus try help keep, like, I know I have nothing next to the strength to try, but if he sees him panicking, we'll be like, shit. We need the
Yeah,
switch.
you run
Switch is
over.
the most important.
You wrap your arms around Laser trying to steady him. Diana, what do you do?
I presume there's a second exit to this room that has now become open.
Yeah, you first, I mean, do you try switching it off?
I don't have access to the.
Oh, I thought you were the one who was
Switch.
lifting.
No.
Oh.
It was Marge.
Oh yeah, no, that was you. That was you.
Yeah,
who
I thought she was saying you lift her up.
Oh.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah. No, I lifted you, Diana. Sorry.
Cool.
That's
I wasn't
crazy.
aware I was
Four
in the
of us-
air. I thought I was on the ground
Different
still.
ideas.
Oh, that's
Because
why I
thought
was
it was
blaming you
Marge.
for this.
That's why Marge was like revealing the wall piece. Like I pictured Marge over here, like touching the wall, Targus over here, and you being lifted up by
Sorry.
this grunt.
Well, I absolutely turn it off immediately.
Yeah, you try. It's like tick, 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 tick. Nothing changes. It's sort of like activated.
It's not going off.
Well,
And-
glad you tried. The second exit, I imagine. If I've been going around the wall, have I found the second doorway? If there is a second doorway?
You quickly continue your like search of the wall as it becomes hotter. I imagine like frantically Targus like looks at his LCD screen and you see like the temperature slowly going up, like boop, 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 just like the he's like calling it out as it's going
Guys,
hotter.
this isn't good.
My God, what happened to military grade? It should take longer.
Colin says
I'm
that I'm going to
News
have to
Corp
file a
grade.
report with Space OSHA after this.
Yeah.
Marge, as you move around on the wall, you notice there is no second exit to this room, but there is a small like grate.
Of
like
course.
Oh, great.
a
Okay.
grate that you can crawl through.
It's exhaust
Additionally,
tunnel.
Targus, as you're looking, you realize you're standing on human bones.
Come on.
Oh,
I
man.
like, despite the fact that I'm panicking, we'll use my eye camera to take a quick snapshot of that
Yeah, you're like as you're freaking.
while fucking panicking. Like, we have to go.
So I don't mind using my own tool to try and get that grate open immediately because we're not going back. There's no point in going back. We're scouting ahead. So
Yeah, you run over and you begin trying to like leverage the grate. Give me a roll.
Well, we need to get out of here.
Yeah, we were dead if we don't get out of here.
Are we?
The question is, how low can we go and still
How low
succeed?
can you go?
I don't think there's
Hello?
any point in going too low. I'm kind of voting for like a 14 or a 15.
I was thinking
Oh,
a 14
really?
would be good.
If
Hey, you know
can
what?
Marge look at that grate and be like, I was able to open that door back there. This grate looks harder, easier.
Make a split-second assessment
This is
of
her, but this is
great
her
durability.
decision. She has to make this one alone because
Oh,
she
I
ran
took this
into
one
it
alone.
first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
We got to get
it's-
out of here. Yeah, we have to get out of here.
All right, for that 16.
All right,
There you go.
16.
16.
I don't want to be precious with our lives. I got
As,
two
as
civilians to bring
Harlan's
back.
doing that, laser like drops Diana, but doesn't drop her on the floor. Like catches you
Yeah,
as I
and
drop
sets
you,
me down.
and I set you down.
Yeah.
Get going! I gotta get out of here! I'm gonna get burned alive! I can't handle it! It's not gonna happen! It's not
Yeah.
gonna happen!
And it's getting hotter
I
as you
to the grate.
as Marge successfully pulls off the grate. A very difficult time, but she manages to get just on like the right screw at the right moment. It clatters to the
Good
floor.
call.
And immediately, Marge, who do you send through first?
I go through first because I can't
Yeah.
leave them on their own, and then immediately helping civilians after, and then followed by the
Perfect.
other army guy.
Yeah, so you get down and you try, but your suit is too bulky.
I was wondering how big this suit was supposed to be, and I was also about his suit.
That's why I said there's no folding, because you realize that no one will fit in this if they're wearing their suits. And just as you realize this and you look back, a voice comes through a crackly radio somewhere in this room. you hear it high above you as if it's a PA, and it says, "What do you fear?" At first, you kind of think you don't actually recognize. Like, you think maybe it was a moment. You can't quite hear. Laser's the only one who kind of hears it clearly because he's got his helmet off. Laser, I imagine you, like, looking back up to where it came from and then dismissing it. There are moments to decide here. Marge, what do you tell everybody?
I feel like that's not my priority. If did nothing registered saying, don't go in there, great. I realize it's too big. Diana, go. Targus, go. I'm starting to strip off what I need to strip off to get in there next. And also...
Do we also have to take our stuff off
Am I
too,
small
the
enough
civilians?
to-
Oh, everyone needs to strip down. Everyone's suits are too big.
All right, then it's off.
Yeah.
Is it a whole one piece suit, or is it like pieces?
Yeah, you're like taking moments where you're like frantically trying to strip
Space
out of your
Velcro.
suits. Yeah, and like, you know, sweat is dripping. You see flames like licking up beneath, you know, Laser's feet as he's like standing back trying to get away from the fire. What order do you go through?
So, Laser's
This
in
is
the
a group
rear.
decision.
Oh,
Laser goes in last.
Okay.
I suppose
that's-
I
If that's
assume
an
Marge is
absolute,
gonna
it
be-
doesn't matter. All I need is for who goes first, which will be Marge, already defined, and Laser. Laser, give me a roll.
Oh. I'm going to say at 12.
Good night, Rain.
12? Okay.
Good night, Rain.
Good night, Rain!
Oh, good night.
Perfect. Yeah, you've used your 12. Marge, you get down on your hands and knees and begin crawling through the, like, you know, the buckling metal. It's hot to the touch. You feel pieces of your flesh ripping off as you sort of move over it. And Targus, you see like streaks of blood from where Marge is like crawling forward.
A rivet has like caught a hank of Diana's hair that's
Yeah.
just like pulled out of her head. It's
Oh
kind of
yeah,
like-
it just like rips out as you move. And Laser, as you dive in, you can feel the flames touching your boots. It begins melting the leather on them.
Yeah.
But you manage to make it through just in time as the four of you sort of fall out into a small storage room. Like, you can almost feel the heat from the vent coming as the four of you sort of fall and have a moment of respite.
What the fuck was that?
Got a little hot in there,
I,
didn't it?
I swear I didn't know that it was gonna do. I thought that was just the power for the doors and the lights, and I didn't.
Diana, stop. Did you guys hear the voice?
What?
Did you hear the voice?
It's kind of muffled.
There was a man's voice that came over the PA system. While we were standing there, you guys were still getting your suits off.
One of the station operators?
So, I don't know. I didn't hear
What'd he
exactly
say?
what he said. He said something like, I don't remember now, but it wasn't friendly. It wasn't like get out. It was like, you know, we're gonna be stuck or something. I can't. It
And
was
at that moment,
creepy.
the voice comes through again. It almost has like a feedback whine, like as you can hear like a breathing on the PA. And the voice says, almost matter-of-factly, "I've turned off life support.
That's what I'm
Within
talking
the
about.
hour,
What's going on? Who,
all the
who are you?
oxygen will be gone. Unless you find your way to me and test your true fear." And again, you hear that whine as it like disconnects.
This guy's an asshole.
Truer words.
Dana
read
goes
my
for a
mind.
communicator, but then she realizes she left it behind. In
Yeah.
the
space,
incinerating
you like
machine.
Targus looks and you just see like at the far end of that tunnel like the melted spacesuits.
Yeah, there was no chance of us getting our stuff
Yeah.
from that or taking anything from it. So my only question with that is, from what Diana remembers and from what I can remember, if that floor was buckling under me from the heat, can I look at Diana and say, what was that room supposed to be? Because I want to see if that was actually an incinerator or converted into an incinerator.
Great question.
Do I know?
You can roll for it.
From the map?
It said incinerator on the door, didn't it? When you
Yes.
threw up some ash
It
across
was
the-
definitely an incinerator, put it that way. Whether or not it functioned as it was supposed to, or was it modified, you could roll to find out.
I would say not bother.
If the walls, I forgot, if the wall does actually say incinerator on it, then it did enough of what it needed to do for me to not need to question it further.
Yeah.
How is Marge feeling right now, by the way?
I mean, definitely pissed that she lost her gear.
I knew it. You're pissed.
Like
Totally
that's
pissed.
it. Everything else, she kind of this is what she expected more or less, in the sense that something was obviously going to go wrong. Otherwise, they wouldn't send scouts. But now she's in here unprepared entirely, which is not great. So first things first, I think she's going to do right now is see whoever has superfluous clothing on them. I don't know what we're all wearing right now. I'm assuming like suits, like the swimsuits.
Oh, we will have lost all our weapons and stuff, wouldn't we? Because they would have been on the outside of the spacesuits.
I'm in a space tank top and space sweatpants.
No.
I'm just in like a Targus issue jumpsuit, like a field suit that just may as well be a onesie. A space onesie.
That's great.
Got a butt flap.
That means you have
Got two butt
legs or sleeves. One of them, like two of them, I'm taking because I got to deal with these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
actually, you take a moment and you realize you're like in a storage room. Like it's got like, there's dust on certain things, but there's lockers here,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you don't find anything, Targus's sleeves actually do detach up here, like in one of those kind of janky. Like it's a t-shirt and a sweater.
That's
It can come off if you need it.
Like
your
zip
timeless
off
fashion
shorts.
is very helpful.
Oh, they make me wear this shit. I got like 7 of these, and it's all
But
I
your
can
mind
wear.
goes back to the advertisement that they put out.
that sold you on.
Yeah.
Targus.
The Targus field suit, all you'll
Let me
ever
think.
need.
It zips off every single.
Can we
So
search
there's-
the lockers then for first aid stuff?
Yeah, Diana, you go first.
There's someone here in the station who means us harm.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put it past them that we're being observed right now. So let's make this fast. Is there anything in this room that we can use?
Great
You
question.
make a good
So
point,
yeah,
Diana.
I
gotta
feel
be
like you all
fast.
sort of spread off to lockers, and
For weapons.
yeah,
and
you
food
find like cloth and stuff like that, things
Food?
that you could bandage yourself.
and a snack.
Sit down, have a meal.
You find a Nature Valley bar.
It's all crumbly.
It's a
been sat on.
it's a space Nature Valley bar.
It's full of
and it's
nanobots.
all crumblies.
It's from the 21st century. It's like this shit is old.
Just a pocket of
right.
sand.
Yeah.
Our goal is now to get back.
No, we have to find this guy in 1 hour, or the life support that he's turned off will deprive us of oxygen to the point where we all die.
So why can't we go back? It's a great back through that tunnel.
Because we don't have a spacesuit
Incinerator.
to get back out to our ship.
Well, that's going to happen regardless, because whatever we do, we still need to get that space. We still need to go to that depressurized area. Mm-hmm. So now we need to do
Four.
something to manage that.
Just hold your breath. It's okay.
That's not how any
Nah.
of this works, Laser.
I've told you. I've done it before. I've done it before.
Thank you. That is exactly what that is. I'm still going more.
I want to watch it again.
Oh my god.
Good. I love it so much.
So I've never seen anything more real in
It's
my
exactly
life.
what you do when you open the Nature Valley bar. You're like, oh, it's just nothing but crumbles.
You touch it to your lips and it dissolves.
Yeah. You touch it to your lips and you need water. You're like,
That's so good.
I think first things first, if we are seeing lockers, yes, I need to check what's going on in terms of supplies, but also, do we know the basic layout of this place? Like, just from remembering other locations, other sites?
We should have
No.
a map, should we not?
well, you did
Had a
on your.
map.
You've depended too much on technology.
That's right.
You know.
Actually, a
the
Targus will go
true
to like bring up a
lesson.
map on his holo module and look down and realize the whole thing is melted. And he didn't feel anything because this is not his real hand for the most part because they like retrofit you. So he looks and goes,
That's gonna be
No more
Out of my
reporting.
warranty.
That's gonna be expensive to replace.
they'll give me a new one. It just I can't even
Any
move my hand
emergency
that much.
maps on
What's
the
your
floor
contract
maps?
like, by the way, for your We just
Sucks.
talk.
Don't
Did you
do
sign
it.
for the 2-year or 3-year?
Yeah, we just talk fucking.
No, you don't see any maps. Again, you find some stuff to sort of bandage yourself, but there's one door leading out of this room, and you get the impression that even as you're standing here, the oxygen, you can almost feel it growing thin.
Okay.
Shit.
I think Marge is going to look at that exit that we're going to have to go through. Kind of realize that there'd be no floor mats because I imagine they would have been removed because you're supposed to have them. And then I feel like she's going to turn back to the others and say very specifically, panic quietly. For all the air that's going to take.
There you go.
But we're
Are there
going to
any
go
like
through.
any like space baseball bats or anything we could use as
Yeah.
like a
Yeah,
weapon in this
baseball
room?
bats.
You still have your guns and stuff.
Oh, we still have
You
them.
brought that?
Yeah, well, I
I've
kind of
got
pictured
my
that
arms.
like you lost your spaceship, but I mean, to me, I pictured Laser like pushing his gun forward and crawling and
Yeah,
pushing
you
his
would leave
gun.
your gun behind.
That,
I mean,
that's
that
what I
would
was
be-
asking for, like pieces of the soup. It's okay.
100%.
You have our guns. Great.
Yeah.
If my
No,
standard
like
issue, like
to me,
shit gun.
to me, I'm watching a movie right now. Like, if you left your guns or I forced you to leave your guns, I'd be like, what? That's so dumb. Why
Alright.
would they do that? So why would we do
automatic
that?
soldier, keep your guns thing. And then I
Yeah.
imagine because I was opening the grate, I would still have whatever tool that was there because that would have been in my hand. I would
You
have
had to have like
put
a
that in,
space.
grab the gun.
Unlimited
go for it.
ammo, because
Hey, even Doom
guns.
doesn't
Proton
have
guns.
unlimited. IDDQD, IDKFA, IDSPI, SPOPD. Anyway, so do you leave the room?
We have to.
if
there's
we've
nowhere else
searched
to
it
go.
and there's nothing more useful.
I mean, you could always roll, but
Well, I think the one thing that Laser does do is he's looking up at the sky. He's looking for those security cameras.
good thought. Yeah, you try to take a look around. You don't see anything in this room.
Okay.
Shit.
Sick. It's sick. I would have rather faced aliens than this bullshit. What the hell's going on here? Who's this psycho on the radio? It doesn't make any sense.
No.
I'm gonna panic quietly.
No, that's a great point. That's a great point, Laser. Let's just think about this for a second. If there's a human behind this, then we can at least stand a chance of understanding his motivations and thinking one step ahead of him. And that's what's going to keep us alive. If we were brought here into this trap for someone's twisted amusement, which is what it seems like to me, the only way that we can survive this is by outthinking him.
Yeah, I think Marge is on the we won't survive it if we can't breathe side. So she is opening the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, the door opens.
No,
One of
Fantastic.
those space
Good
things.
point, Joe. Good point.
Yeah,
Just some
Gotta
like
outthink
movie
him.
dialogue.
you exit
That-
the area to sort of see a more well-lit hall, but it's all bathed in red. It's like lit in this ominous red glow.
Nice.
Blinking slowly.
You see on the walls, it says computer station, sort of. This is the access area of the facility that sort of monitors the servers and things like that. And you see you sort of gonna, lean out with your guns. You walk down a short hallway and you see a left passage and a right passage. But you also see a little down this hallway, sort of a small crawlway as well.
I mean, I'd like to go to some place that has broadcast abilities. I'm assuming there's some sort of comms room. And I'm wondering if there's any, like, markings on the floor, any, like, painted on lines that are ordinarily, like, yellow means comms, follow this. Like,
Yeah,
the
there's a
hospital
red,
thing.
a blue, and a yellow line painted on the floor. You can't see where they're coming from, and you can't see where they're going.
Are they properly painted, or are they, like, sketchy, creepy blood trail painted?
They're properly painted.
Okay. So, would I recognize which one usually corresponds with other, or
Is there a
it written
galactic
there?
standard for
There is
computer
no
room?
galactic standard alphabet, unfortunately.
God damn it. And nothing's written, I assume.
No.
Shit.
All right.
This isn't a code.
From the layout, like if we're seeing, are we near windows or something like that?
No. This is sort of an enclosed area. Again, you get the impression that this is like the computing processing area of the plant.
Would this be in the center? Like, were we towards the edge and moving into the center?
Yeah, how big of a place is this?
Very big. Yeah. You're definitely moving deeper into the facility.
I used to work as a guard A long time ago at one of these facilities. They're huge. They're massive. We're never gonna find our way in or out. Never.
Laser's always on the edge.
Yeah.
He knows a place like this. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
wanna
roll
be
for
at
it if
that-
you want.
I
They're all
want to
different.
grab Laser by like the scruffs, whatever he's wearing, and I
Yeah.
want to kind of pull him in the front, and I want to, but then of gently push him forward. It's like a nice thing. Be like, lead.
Just relying on his instincts.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
So you got left, right, and a crawlway passage. Which way do you go, Laser?
Okay. Where the incinerator is over there. We're gonna go left. We're gonna go left, I think.
Yeah.
Left it is.
You
go
follow
left.
Laser down the passage towards the left, and a set of stairs lead up to a shut door at the top. The red sort of fades a little bit here, and there's sort of a white light that's bathing down in front. Who goes first?
I want to listen at the door.
So you go first.
Yeah.
So you head up the stairs. Give me a roll.
Just be careful.
Just you.
He whispers.
Just a roll.
And
Yeah.
keeps his gun pointed with his aim around.
11.
11? Perfect.
Great roll.
Thank you.
Great roll.
I did it. I did it. I did it. I'm going to die, aren't I?
I only knew my cat was here because I saw him on the screen.
We could.
Perfect. You walk up the stairs, and you're all sort of watching Diana approach the top of the stairs. And about halfway through, your foot sinks through the step. Oh. At first, you think it breaks, like the step, but you realize that the step actually folds in the center. And what greets your foot within are a series of spikes pointing down. Immediately, your foot basically falls into these sharp,
Like a
jagged
one-way trap.
spikes. Exactly. And you are immediately
I did the same
pain
thing.
shoots up your foot.
I mean, I let out a horrifying scream.
Yeah. Do
I'm
it.
going to spare you. Oh, yeah?
Nice.
Let me get the Wilhelm scream in here.
Yes,
no, I'm
please.
not screaming, by the way.
Yeah, no. We don't have Henry tonight.
I was gonna
so-
say you must not have Henry.
Yeah, so you are immediately
Shit.
very, very pained. What do you guys all do?
On one hand, that's very reassuring because
Thank you, Harlan.
To give you just a
that's
visual.
intense.
That's great. I didn't need that foot anyway.
It's good because that means that there's very unlikely to be two stairs like that in a single staircase. But it does tell us that we have to be aware of those. Those spikes, they are, I guess, they're not foldable, so they're actually static like that.
Yes.
We're gonna
There's no
have
way
to
we can
twist
break them?
you.
Yeah. So you walk up to Diana, who's like screaming in pain as blood is dripping down her leg.
Oh my god! Oh my god, what's happening?
Oh my god!
Oh, it hurts so bad!
Targus gets sick.
If
Just against
Yeah.
the wall.
we have to twist her, so at least she can put out her foot lengthwise, maybe do less of a scarring as we yank her back up.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Laser, what do? Do you help Marge?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you again. Panic quietly.
Fucking
I've seen
Marge.
this. I've seen this before. I don't know.
When have you seen this?
I don't remember where or when, but I'll tell you what. There's a couple ways we could do this. We could do it the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is I chop your leg off. The hard way is we pull your leg out.
What the fuck? No, you can't chop my leg off. I need this leg for walking.
Technically, I'm not
answered.
chopping it.
Have a hand over your mouth.
Whoa. Yeah, do it. Do it.
All right.
Technically, it's not chopping, it's shooting. But okay, and like mid-sentence, you've got her body
Hand over
and
mouth.
her...
We're gonna turn her, and then we're gonna yank her. I can probably do it on my own, but I would prefer if you could sort of, Laser, you can help guide her, hopefully limp foot out.
Targus will
hold
try
on,
to
hold
jump
on,
in
hold
to
on.
help somehow.
But
Just
hold
pat
on,
my
if-
back.
If Laser shoves his hands down, like the side of her legs and
Push
pushes
the spikes.
I thought they
away.
were. I'm kind of assuming they're static.
No, they're
already
static.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
they're static.
Otherwise, I was gonna fold them down too and then yank her back up like Saw
Yeah.
2. But it's not
Exactly.
like Saw 2. They're
No, this is like Saw 12. All right, so you
I
turn
honestly
her.
think you should let me shoot it off. It'll, my
In
plasma
the
rifle
future.
So you grab her
sever it.
and you like turn her.
Did you make sound effects for this?
Maybe as they're like slicing a little bit deeper into her with each sort of like turn as you're like wiggling her back and forth and back and forth.
It wouldn't be that much. I feel like for her, how pinned would her leg be?
Ew.
That was just someone eating an apple.
It sounds like, but also
I imagine
horrifying.
If her foot fit into that, I imagine it wouldn't be. It'd still be scratching at her
It has to
more
go.
than surface.
Yeah,
but-
it has to come out somehow because it went
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
And these
exactly.
are static nails that can only be so
Enough,
closely
Harlan.
together.
Stop
Otherwise,
it.
she would have just landed on the actual spikes themselves.
Yeah, so you turn her with a yank and you pull her foot up, and blood becomes pouring out. She's screaming on the stairs. It's like, and then
Well,
I
she's
imagine
screaming quietly.
yeah, that's right. Panic quietly, and you wrap her maybe.
Yeah, Targus will take one of his sleeves off and be like, I can't. I know what a tourniquet is. I don't know how to tie one. He'll give it to Marge and be like, if you can.
Can we sci-fi science this and assume that a tourniquet applied appropriately will at least save
Will not
everything above the ankle?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you sort of do a tourniquet, and she has difficulty walking as the four of you are standing on the steps. The door is still at the top of the stairs. What do you do now?
I'm gonna stab at each of the, well, at least pound on each of the stairs really fast
Nice.
going up.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Targus
Yeah, it
will
seems
be a
safe.
kind of a crutch to Diana.
Yes.
Thank
Perfect.
you. Thank
Diana, you and Targus are sort of walking up the stairs. I figure, Laser and Marge move into the next room, and at the top you see a sort of a long
the hell is that?
hallway.
Man, I'm so sorry that happened to you, Diana. That's nasty and insane. Let's keep going forward though. We gotta get out of here.
There's a long hallway with tiles floor. It seems like at the far end of it might be the entrance to a server room or a computer room. You're not too sure. But the yellow line that leads you here has, again, the text, this time written in yellow, and it says computer mainframe.
Okay.
Hey,
Marge
boy.
is not screwing around now. She's down on all fours, head to parallel to the floor to see if any of these tiles are higher than the other, weirdly
Yeah.
sunken in.
Give me a roll.
Go like.
We need Erica next time we do Tomb of Pores.
Yes.
Oh god.
We're gonna go with 15.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, do it.
High roller.
I was thinking.
Yes, thank you, Zia. We need Resident Evil 7 goo juice just to staple the foot back on.
Perfect. Yeah, you notice that all of the black tiles, specifically in the middle, seem to be slightly higher than the others.
Okay, and I'm assuming that's not for aesthetics because why would you do that in a place like this?
Correct.
Black tiles.
Yeah.
Wait, are they the good ones or the bad
Can
ones?
we
then?
poke one maybe and see?
You can try.
Which ones look like they're the original floor, like the same sort of style as the other?
The white
tiles
ones
we
look
made?
original.
Okay.
There's a lot of black tiles, too. There's like from
I-
here to the end of the hall.
I want to pound on one of the white ones.
Yeah, it seems fine. You're like,
Great.
"Ding."
So, white only. And
They're small tiles, though. They're like this big.
Shit.
How is it like fully checkerboard?
Yeah.
So,
Who has the time to booby trap every single little checker? That's silly. There's no way.
There's a reason. Don't you
Marge,
worry.
Marge should be saying this out loud.
Yeah.
Like,
Who has the time?
So everyone
Unscrew
starts
your
moving
jaws.
towards it.
Oh man.
no,
Can-
boy. Out of the time.
Can I carry down on my back like a piggyback?
Yeah, you can. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Lessen the amount of fucking feet that are on the ground.
And then maybe old man Laser picks up you as well, and so he's got both of you on his back. He's like,
I mean, can you
let's do this.
tiptoe?
I mean,
Tiptoe?
Targus will be like, I can walk, dude. This is okay. I'll be like, but this is real weird, but cool.
One step, and then like we all get blasted with fire.
We all die.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. Targus, if you can actually manage tiptoes on
Yeah,
with
I can do
everybody
that.
else. Laser, I'm assuming you can do tippy toes too.
Yeah, of course I can.
Okay,
I'm
we're
going
gonna
tippy
do.
toes.
We're gonna be bracing each other as we go by. We're gonna basically be locked for strength, kind of hanging on to each other, kind of like, full on shoulder to shoulder, whatever. Hang on to each other.
Yeah.
Stay stable. We're gonna learn from everything that we saw in Squid Game, red light, green light. You walk very stably so you can stop real fast. And we're gonna go tiptoe onto the white squares.
Cool.
Tiptoeing.
All right.
I'm gonna do this by putting everyone's arms where they need to be and then saying white only.
Everybody but Diana, give me a dexterity pick number.
Oh, no.
And we're going to do this fairly. We're going to do this in
We'll all
order.
share.
Nope.
Oh,
We're going to start off with Laser picks first, then Erica, or then, Marge, and then Targus. So, Laser, 7. Okay. What about you, Marge?
17.
Oh, and Targus.
Targus is actually pretty. He has an idea about that computer room and would like to get there relatively unharmed. So I don't want to pick like above.
I'm hoping that my 17 can counteract his
Yeah,
7, and if you take a mid number,
I'm gonna go with a 13. I'm a young dude. High dexterity.
we're working for stability. That's what we're trying to do right
We
now.
only have 4 numbers above 10 now.
Yep.
What?
Perfect. Yeah, you.
Oh shit.
I figure Laser walks first with his 7. He takes one heavy footstep as everyone sort of takes a deep breath.
He's tiptoeing, but the ball of his foot is 6 inches wide.
He takes
Fucking
another
beauty.
step.
God.
He takes another step. He takes another step and kind of wavers for a second.
But that's...
And then he takes another step and you see his heel just about to graze. No! And as he corrects, he slips his toe forward and presses the black before him. And what happens at first surprises you. You see this tiny little tile flip open. And what comes shooting up is like a spinning bladed wingnut. It's flat and almost looks like a small windmill. And it immediately just cuts up the side of your leg like a saw blade. Right, exposing the meat of your inner thigh all the way up to your or from your calf to your knee. It just sends blood splattering on all the tiles as this thing spins up towards the roof and clatters amongst the stuff.
How long is this
Laser
hallway?
looks back. At
He's
you guys.
maybe halfway.
He looks back at you guys. He's like, "That's painful, but it's not
Yeah.
killer." Just
And you
Avoid black
manage to make it forward, and then you fall off the tiles as you bandage your foot. The two of you, Targus and Marge, you make it across fairly easily
Because we were supporting each other. We were doing the arch.
because you were supporting each other entirely. Yeah, and you make it to the mainframe room. You see this sort of small room at the end of the hall. On the door, it sort of says mainframe. There's a set of double doors.
I want to
Is-
point to
it open?
target.
Yeah.
I want to say leg. I want that sleeve. Leg sleeve. Give me
Oh
the
god,
leg.
yeah, and he'll take and take the other sleeve off and
Alright.
run over and be like, "You need this? Okay." Tourniquet.
All right.
Perfect. Yeah. You move into this room, and as you do, the door behind you shuts. Thump.
Does this mainframe room look like it's supposed to? Are there blinky computers and,
No, it doesn't.
Oh, no.
Things aren't on.
No. And you check, and the door that just shut behind you is locked.
Oh
And you hear that voice again, which repeats, sort of at a lower voice, a lower tone. What do you fear? And as you're standing there, you hear this like creaking. This dark green wall with a blue strip begins moving towards you from the north.
Oh shit! Is there anything in the room like a circuit breaker or anything that like power is controlled from this part of the room?
Great question. Give me a roll.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna roll a 10 to find it, and I want to do something with it, so I'll need a higher roll. But a 10 if that's okay with everyone.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, you roll a 10. I'm running out of space here. Maybe we'll just start another line. Wait, did that work? We'll do that for now. Yeah, you look around and you see this trigger that's activated. And do you throw it?
Oh, it's a switch, is it?
Yeah, there's like a switch. It's kind of hidden against the east wall of this room.
I think Targus is young enough to panic. Yeah, he'll throw the switch.
Perfect. Yeah, you do it. Nothing seems to change in the room. The wall still moves towards you. It's sort of pushing you towards the south wall.
Is there anything in the room that looks like we can like brace the wall with?
Yeah, I mean, Marge has her like crowbar thing, but the room is pretty much empty.
Does the switch look like it's not working because it doesn't have power?
It looks like it's working. It just doesn't look right.
Is there another way through this? Like, do we need to find some way to stall, or can we move through?
There's no exit to this room. Or rather, the exit door, as you try it, it doesn't even look like it's a door.
Laser like looks
Seems
up
like
at
it
the
was like
ceiling and screams, "What do you want from us?" And then he's looking at the ceiling. Is there any exit?
No, but you
It's
panic
like a
and
drop
look
ceiling
around.
with those like panels.
You like panicking look around. It continues pushing you towards the south wall. And I feel Laser as you're like up against the south wall, it feels a little like hollow, the southern wall.
And that's it. And he pushes his back up against the wall that's moving and points his gun at the south wall and just starts blasting a hole in it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And all this like rusted metal starts flecking off, and you can see light from like the server room behind it, just on the far side of the wall.
Well, here we go.
Get through
They're
it.
shooting as well. Bang, 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 bang.
You pour through into the server room as the like wall shuts behind you, leaving you with only one exit. And as you move out, you realize that it's pushed you into another side of a building. And Laser, you recognize this area from most mining complexes. It's sort of the refinery area.
Yeah.
Immediately you hear like the bubbling and broiling of like an acidic liquid.
Yeah.
You exit this room to see a large vat before you of this green liquid.
Yeah, and I look down over the railing, and there's like these huge, like you say, vats and steam, and like different walkways, pathways, all catwalk sort of things.
Exactly.
This isn't right. It looks like the mining of Torvos 12 has been changed somehow. Shouldn't be any of these colors. There's something different about this refinery. Probably, right? Harlan?
Yeah, no, definitely. Something seems off.
Probably, right, Harlan?
Right? Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Are we having to? Are any of the places we have to walk over any of these vats?
You see that there's a door sort of standing to your immediate right. There we go. Those are the numbers you have left. To your immediate right. And as you walk up to it, it sort of says, it's like a small keypad that says access denied. And after scanning the room for a few moments, you see that in the shallower part of this acidic liquid, hanging from a single rope, lies a key.
Hanging from a rope.
Is a key?
Yeah.
I want to fucking try something. This is probably not going to work. Can Targus go up to this little keypad that says access denied?
Yeah.
Can I open it? Like, can I get to the circuitry in it?
Yeah.
Because here's what I want to do. Targus is going to take his fake hand off and try use some of the circuitry in it to either shock the keypad or interface with it like R2-D2 and open the door that way.
Perfect. Give me a roll.
I think as you're doing this, as Targus is like fiddling with it, Laser's looking around the room and seeing this key dangling in the acid. And he's like, based on where we've been so far, man, I don't know. I think he wants us to reach into the acid.
Are we on the catwalk or on the bottom level?
There's sort of like corrugated steps down towards the bottom level. So like, yeah, at this point, the acid is accessible.
I'll go with a 9. Just the 9.
Okay, yeah. You see Targus start fiddling with the keypad. What are you doing, Laser?
Laser's like leaning over, trying to reach the rope that's holding, or the string that's holding the keys.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of the liquid.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's like leaning way out, like hanging onto the railing of the catwalk and leaning way out. Yeah, if only I could just use. And then I use my gun to like reach the extra.
Yeah, give me a roll, Laser.
6. 1. Okay, 1.
No.
6?
6. Yeah. Okay, fine. 6.
Yeah. At the same time, Laser's like reaching. Diana, you're sort of pacing. Marge, you're watching Targus. And simultaneously, Laser loses his footing and falls like into the acid, like skidding on his knees.
Oh no.
As he starts screaming, and just at that time, I imagine Targus, you're like looking away from the keypad, and as you turn back, you're realizing how easy it was to take it off. And as you look back, you realize that there's not actually wires here, just a small hole. And a large metal spike fires itself out right between your eye and your nose and just stabs like deeply, like just a big shunk shunk.
You see like Targus's body go from like just like and fall.
Did he die?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it went straight through there. I imagine.
Survivable.
Targus literally just falls over.
The
dead.
flesh wound. It's a
Phineas
bit
Gage.
Laser, as you're like clawing out of the acid, you like reach up for Marge.
There's like, as I'm trying to crawl, I like put my hand down, and I'm like, and I put my other hand down. I'm like, and I'm like touching my face and like trying to grab at things. And
Yeah.
It's just not a nice scene.
No, you like climb out and your like lower torso is like falling apart. Or at that moment you walk towards the key and maybe you grab it in the last ditch effort to at least not make your sacrifice in vain.
I do. I put the key up on the catwalk as my hand like disintegrates through the catwalk grate, you know.
But that had melted too fast, so you're just like, no.
Marge and Diana, two of your people here are like,
We did.
I throw
dead.
up.
Yeah, you vomit. It like falls into the acid. Marge, what do you do?
Oh no, Erica, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
I would say there's more air for us. That I would take the key and I would try and open this door.
Yeah.
I love it. I
You
love
open
Marge
the
so
door
much.
and see like streaks of blood as you walk in, and the door shuts behind you. Again, this corrugated steel floor, which is like the most common factor in this room. And then you begin hearing this like pressure rising. It's not the vacuum of space. Something in this room is beginning to build, and you see the roof sort of slowly start to fall. But the pressure in the room, your ears begin to pop. There's two alcoves in the room, a small one that has like a valve on it, and then a larger one that has sort of some metal pipes on it. And there's one door leading out of this room that you quickly run over and try to open, but the pressure is keeping it shut. As the pressure builds and builds, both of you give me a roll.
The life support system must be reversed in this room, and the pressures.
Diana, what do you got?
A roll?
Yeah.
What numbers do we even have left?
Here's what we've done. We left the 20 to the last 19, 18,
14.
19, 20 are all
14. What about you, Marge?
Give me the 20.
20.
Whoa.
I want to get at those pipes, see if I can release the pressure.
I go over to the little one with the valve.
Yeah. You turn the valve and the pressure. Okay, so this is actually very interesting. So Marge enters the alcove. And as you enter the small little alcove, which has the pipes, you sort of look at them. Frantically, Diana turns the
I don't want to
pressure,
die in here.
which releases the pressure from the room,
I don't want to die.
but causes the ceiling to fall and flatten her. Like as you're in the alcove, you feel the back of your head, Marge, just get coated with blood as you turn around to see the ceiling has completely crushed her and the double doors to the room open.
Another key.
And you walk. You took a 14,
Permanent.
didn't you, Jen?
I did. I took a 14.
Okay. You exit this room to see the blood trail continues, only this area is darker, lit by red flames that seem to emanate from somewhere. As you approach the heart of this base, you see the walls moving around you. Marge, you're tired. Your flesh has been burned. You've watched 3 people die. You sort of walk with a limp from where you've like sprained it trying to walk over these damaging areas. And as you approach this final area, you recognize that the walls are shifting. There's nanobots that are crafting the world around this area. And as you push in, you see this man standing in the center of a room. Around him, the walls at first appear to be sort of like a computer mainframe, and then they immediately evaporate and turn to almost a cathedral. He turns around, showing you his face, and you see his eyes have been gouged out. And in their places, there's sort of the wirings and mechanics of some sort of machine. Despite him not having eyes, you can tell he senses you. And he says, "What do you fear?"
I feel like in her mind, this is so gone from any sort of return trip at all. Like right around Targus' death, she realized, all right, this is what we're dealing with. We're done. So I think in her mind, her fear is death at this point. Because the one thing she said was that they'd live. So I think in her mind, she's going to try to bargain now in that stay here forever way. And I feel like she's going to skip over his question and salute and say, reporting for duty.
I love it.
And I think there's a moment where he like walks towards you and the nanobots crawl up his arm and form this like large blade. And they sort of like wash down his back and form like these almost ceremonial like robes. And he rests the blade on your shoulder. Mm-hmm. He turns the sharp edge towards your neck and he says, "Well then, welcome home."
Oh,
And I think we're going to end it there for tonight.
I knew it. Betrayer. Secret.
Secret betrayer.
Future betrayer.
wow.
That's great.
Origin
Well done,
story.
guys. What a fun concept. Obviously, I need to narrow out like what we're rolling on and what we're not, but you guys did
cares? That was
fantastic.
awesome.
That was an absolute
well
blast.
done,
Ladies and gentlemen, Invictus Con Game Master signups end tomorrow. Go sign up tonight. Run some games. It's going to be a blast. Join some games. If you're a first-time GM, please make sure to give it a try. Or
Run
not
some
please make sure.
games for us.
Yeah,
for the
give it a try.
community. It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be an absolute blast. Everyone here is going to be there, so make sure you do it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. We will be back next week with another fun game. Thank you so much to Erica and Alex and Gary for hanging out with us. And we'll see you around the table, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Sorry for betraying you.